A couple questions that I got a lot of in my DMs. Number one, how did I keep my credit score up during my divorce? Number one, it's something that I monitor very closely. I keep all three of my credit bureaus locked. Even if I want to do anything, if I want to get new service, if I want to get gas, anything like for your house, any kind of service, I have to unlock it in order to be able to use it. I have an alert system set up that lets me know if anything goes on there, whether it's like good or bad, it doesn't matter. I get an email every single day that updates me. That's one thing I've always paid very close attention to. And then the other thing is, even if I'm like super tight on money, I make sure I pay at least the minimum on everything that I owe. Doesn't matter what it is, period. And trust me, with my business debt, it's really freaking hard because I pay all of it by myself, and he won't let any money come out of our community trust to pay any of that. So it's ridiculous because usually we would have paid that off by now, but he won't. And I think you think in your head like the person you're married to would never do something shitty like that, but like now I don't put anything past him. Number one, because while we're going through the loan process that I didn't talk to you guys about, but somehow those details all made it on the internet, my credit score got ran by the girl that I named my business after, sometimes like 2 times in the same 3 day period. So I knew something was going on because no mortgage company is going to run your credit that many times. It was like August 21st, August 24th. No reason for that. So I knew something. Also, that's a big old deal, but we'll talk about that later. The other thing is paying my minimum payments on time, not trying to incur any new debt, has been really helpful. Paying off anything that you can and making sure that it gets reported to the bureaus was really helpful too. Then I think that's it, honestly. But my credit score did go down like 30 points since the beginning of this, which freaking sucks. I was past an 800. Pissed me off. Okay, the other thing that somebody asked me was, how was I able to buy my kid a new car? Which I think is such a weird question, because can you imagine like if I just like messaged you and was like, how can you buy him a new car? Also, like, what? Number one, I saved every single penny from child support. Every single dollar that was deposited in that, even though it's not the amount that he told my son he pays, which you shouldn't be telling my son anything, but he definitely said it was for car payments, so I never spent it on anything other than the car. Like, do I get an award when y'all say I spent all that and I didn't? Also, FYI, it's still there. Does that make you mad? Why does it make you mad? You should be happy for me. What's wrong with you? This shit is so weird. I guess for the rest of the night, they get to figure out the riddle. How do I have good credit? How did I save all that money? Like, I could still be broke and still have money in my kid's child support account. That ain't my money, remember? That's car payment money. He literally like screenshotted other attorneys' websites and sent them to my kid, telling him that, evidently your mom's lying to you about what child support for. It's specifically for car payments. Noted, sir. Also, you don't pay what you said you did, so don't be telling them nothing. I just had to say, Whoopi, I'm sorry he had that conversation with you, FYI, because Whoopi wrote him like last year and was like, are you really not going to help mom? And he was like, what does she do with all that child support I pay her? Nothing is the answer. 0 things. I just let it sit there. Also, when you gonna pay the right amount? Chill, bro. So, but I didn't say nothing. I was just like, so when you go from like an average daily balance of 6 figures to your bank account being negative and nobody knows why, like, doesn't make no sense. Like, I didn't spend it and we just figured that out. But we'll touch base on that later. But when you go from like a 6-figure average daily balance in your bank account to your bank account suddenly becoming negative and nobody knows why, that's broke to me. I felt like I thought it's all relative at the end of the day. Like, now that I've been living with a lot less than I was the last several years, like, things, obviously a $5,000 handbag affects you a lot more now than it did when you thought $100 or $99,000 in your bank was like your version of broke. It's all relative. It's not bad or good. It doesn't make you any better or worse than anybody else. But also, I've tried to remain the same person no matter how much money's in my bank account. And the thing with the handbags is I've collected bags for years. Obviously, like I started with Coach like 15 years ago, and then I graduated to like Michael Kors and then Tory Burch and then nicer stuff like Gucci. But some of them were like sentimental, like reward, bags. Some of them were gifts. A lot of them were gifts. A lot of them on my list were gifts. And then when they went missing, it wasn't that this expensive bag went missing. It was the principle of the matter. Like, how is this disappearing from my house? So, and that was my big question. Like, if the money from the safe's missing and my bags are missing and my jewelry's missing and my Tory's missing, like, how come nobody's asking me where it went? Like, this ain't normal. But going back and watching all these stories and videos I have where he's like, yeah, I know, all the money, all the Tory, all the Gucci, everything's missing. You're like, he's acknowledging it. So also, how come nobody's asking where it is except for me? So anyways, the point of all that is just to say those things. The other thing was, what I was saying to the end of that story was that I never considered any of those things assets to me. They were all my belongings. So I've never been concerned with like, why is my asset missing? Because I never thought that you'd be calling it an asset because I didn't know we were going that direction. I thought, where's my belongings? So to me, like, where's my stuff that's not here? And how did it get out of here? Never once did I think like something would disappear because it would be an asset or something later. And at the end of the day, I just want my shit back or an explanation of how it disappeared. So the moral of that story is don't buy expensive bags. Also, a lot of them are gifts. Like, I don't know. This is so mind-blowing to me. Like, what are we doing here? No. And I'll admit, I was real dumb. Because I kept saying, like, why are all these tools missing from our house? Like, I watched someone take tools out of our house, and then I got told I was crazy that didn't happen, but I saw it with my own eyeballs. So I knew I wasn't crazy. But then you're like, why is he telling me I'm crazy when I'm telling him that his, aka ours, but like I don't use tools are being walked out of our house by someone else? Why is he telling me I'm making that up? Like, wouldn't you be more concerned with like, oh shit, our stuff's walking out of the house? Like, you don't get it because your brain is not on that path. And when your brain gets on that path, 2 years later, you're like, oh, I get it. Also, that's gross. Like, what are you, let me in that cube smart. I know. Also, just thank God for y'all. Because if it wasn't for y'all constantly reminding me, like, you're going to be okay, you're going to get through this, FYI, this might be, or this is what happened to me. Like, I'm so glad this is like an open forum where I'm so glad I like documented my whole life, except for some specific pieces that I'm very clear that shouldn't be anywhere because I did not talk about that specific thing and I know that. But I'm so thankful, like even the stupid stuff like that I filmed when I got a bag, because like it was very useful to be able to go back to Mother's Day of 2017 and say, I got this handbag for Mother's Day. Like it was not anything other than a Mother's Day gift. Like I can go back into my archives. But also it explains like why you'd want to get in my phone or why like there'd be deleted texts or emails or pictures or videos or any of that, because if I don't have that proof, then... So it's been very helpful to be able to go back and... Okay, making sure you can't see my boobs. Go back and ask you guys, like, if you've ever commented on a handbag that I've gotten before, can you please send me another message so I can go back and look at that story, which still remains true. If you've ever commented on any gift I've ever been given, ever, and you know that you've sent me a comment about it, send me a comment again. Here, I'll put a little question box here so I can go straight to your messages. But it's been helpful because I can go back and say, look, here it is. Like, it's right there. I'm not making it up. But I don't know how much it's going to take for some people to understand. Like, there's nothing I'm going to not tell the truth about. It doesn't matter what it is. Good, bad, ugly, ask away, my friend. God, I just cannot wait. Let's just get this ball rolling. Get it going. Say all the things. And then get the fuck away from me, please. And now here's hoping I don't lose my Instagram the next couple days. Because if I do, I said it right now, you better not. I have like two-factor all the things. Like I'd be two-factoring out of other people's phones just so I don't lose access again. That's so gross. Anyways, I have put in so many prayers with my good Lord Jesus that people will tell the truth and that all this will end soon. But I guess it's just up to them. Because I only got one version of the story, bro, and it's what really happened. So, let's just... Can we just be done, please? Pretty please. Like, really pretty please.